What's up, guys, and welcome to another video of mine. And today I just really want to talk about how you can actually build confidence without the need to feel like you actually need to change your entire life, right? Just talking about confidence, to be honest. The main way to get confidence is to just do the things you want to do in life, man. And it's really, I know it sounds simple, I know it sounds super easy, but I come from a life where the majority of the time I just felt like I'm not good enough. I felt like, this guy over there can do it better than me, especially because I'm a huge sports guy. I love sports, you know what I mean? Sports is my life, video games is my life, and the majority of those are just competitive. But also, one thing you have to understand about, actually living is that you can't always look at other people's lives and then think to yourself, oh, I wish I had that. With that, I mean, it is so inhumane to put yourself down to look at another person's success. That's stupid. You should not do that, to be honest. Because as much as it's doable nowadays, a lot of people are focused on other people's lives and not their lives. The main problem with that is you will have these people that will sit at home, scroll on TikTok, scroll on YouTube, whatever, Insta, and then they'll see, oh, uh, for example, one of my friends got drafted to the NBA. One of my friends succeeded in something. Not even your friend, for example, but just a celebrity. Oh, someone won a tournament. Wow, I wish that was me. You know? That right there, that's fine. You can wish that's you, but you can't consistently wish for something and then not work towards it. And that's how you build confidence. You know, dating, sports, video games, everything in life, job, success, just in general, success. Success doesn't come overnight. Success is something that you actually have to work hard on for years, you know? In sports, for example, I've been in total, I've always been a fan of sports, my 18 years of living. But, like, for example, I've been doing basketball for the past 6 years, I think. Not consistently, but, it's just a sport that I actually fell in love with as a kid as well. And I'm mid. I'm mid as hell, The average NBA player would beat my ass, That's normal. Don't get me wrong, that's normal. But for example, let's make this about video games, right? I spent years trying to perfect my craft in Tekken. I spent years trying to perfect my craft in Apex, Dead by Daylight, for example, as well, right? The majority of these games where there's a huge skill gap, and I love games like that because it brings out this competitiveness inside of me, which, in my opinion, a lot of people lack nowadays. And then they start having problems in real life and stuff because they just don't have that competitiveness inside of them. But that's for another video, right? But what I'm trying to get at is I spent years, ever since I was born, I started video games, I started sports, and I just spent my whole life trying to become better at this and just trying to make my life worth it. I'm trying to make my life worth it. I'm trying to become the man that I would have wanted as a kid, basically. Spent years trying to perfect my craft in Tekken, and guess what? I'm good at the game now, but it took years. Spent years trying to actually improve on Dead by Daylight. Played it since I was 8 years old, by the way. The game's 10 years old. And I'd say I'm pretty good at it, Overwatch, Rivals, all of that. It's the competitive side where I just want to learn, where I just want to adapt. And that, I love that about life. But guess what? For a long time in my life, from like 10 to 15, 10 to 16 probably, I only spent that in video games. But not in a point where it was like, oh, I'm trying to like become, good. I just wanted to become the best player of all time. And that's not a mindset that will actually bring you anywhere in life. Maybe sometimes it's okay to have an ego, It's alright to have an ego, but not to the point where you just immediately set the goal way too high. That will actually just burn you out so fast. Because in Fortnite as a kid, I was like Dude, look at all these streamers making their money. Look at all these competitors trying to get money with their tournaments. And I was like, dude, that's me. I want to be that. I want to be the best player of all time. But guess what? Because I only set that goal, I didn't set another goal. For me, it was just, I want to become the best. That was what made me not want to do it anymore after a while. Because I realized there's a skill gap. I have to learn this. I have to learn that. But I didn't want to learn any of that. I wanted to be at the top. You know, but guess what? It didn't work out because I set the bar so high. You shouldn't do that. You should focus on the small things, you know? For example, in Tekken, for example, what do? You don't immediately go, I want to become the highest rank in the game. You know? You want to learn the fundamentals. You want to go to the advanced stuff. And then you can actually try and properly get up there, you know? That's what life is, and that's what life always has been. Look back at history. Everything came from nothing, but it was a process. For example, humanity, bro, the process was millions of years, you know? Same with you. The only difference is you only live nowadays, let's say 70 or 80 years, right? It's 2026. We don't live that long, in theory, you know, but we can actually try and keep something in the world from us staying there. I know that doesn't sound good right now because I just don't really know how to actually pronounce it or say the sentence that I want to say. But we can leave behind a legacy which will be remembered in the future for our, you know, like descendants, for example, if that's the word. I hope it is. I don't have a script, so, you know, I'm just kind of speaking from my mind. But seriously, we can leave something behind. May it be in real life, may it be online, whatever it is, whatever you want to do, go and do it. No one's going to stop you, you know? And the thing with no one's going to stop you is no one will stop you, but people will hate on you all the time. But that's for another video as well. But one thing I'm going to say about that is people will hate regardless. You can be fat, you can be skinny, you can be homosexual, you can be straight, you can be anything and people will hate on you. You know, you can be the nicest person in the world. People hate Superman. You know, people hate Wonder Woman, everyone. You know, people just hate people for no reason. And you shouldn't let that get to your head. Because that's just not worth your time or the effort to think about it, you know? At the end of the day, there will always be haters, you know? May it be online, may it be in real life. There's not much of a difference to it nowadays anyway. But haters will hate, and you should not fall into that hatred. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But what helps with confidence, at least for me, is just going outside and doing stuff. Do the stuff you wanna do. That's the simplest thing ever. Confidence doesn't come from laying in bed all day and doing nothing and providing nothing for yourself. Confidence comes from showing up. Confidence comes from just doing the stuff that you were meant to do. Become the person you want to be. That's where the confidence comes from, you know? And in my opinion, that's the only way I could gain confidence. It's by actually doing stuff. You set a goal. You don't lay in bed after setting that goal. You go and do that goal, you know? May it be a video game. You know, I want to become one of the highest ranked players in the world. Go and do that. Go and pursue it. Do it as much as you can. Show up. If you have to go train, go train. If you have to go practice, go to practice. That's how you gain confidence, and that's how you become more at peace with the person you are. I feel like a lot of people nowadays are lost in this shell of loneliness, where they kind of need to fill their lives with other people around them and just kind of shut down the person they are just to feel some kind of appreciation or love. But that's not how life works for me. You have to understand what person you are. You have to understand what you need and what you want in life and what you want to pursue. And as soon as you have that, and as soon as you show up to practice, to training lessons, whatever it may be, you will gain confidence sometime. It may not be a huge confidence boost. I'm not saying go out there one practice and suddenly you're Conor McGregor. I'm telling you, go out there, go to practice, and you'll see yourself consistently improve at something difficult. And you'll love your life, and you'll love yourself for some time. Yeah, obviously there's downsides to it. There's always downsides in life. But discipline and motivation and everything above that as well will bring you somewhere in life. And as soon as you understand, hey, I have this feeling that I don't want to stop, even though it's difficult, I don't want to stop. There's something inside of me that tells me to not stop and just continue. You should cherish that with your whole life, because a lot of people don't have that trait anymore. And I feel like once you have that trait, you're never allowed to let go. Obviously, it's still your choice. I'm not saying it's not your choice, right? But as soon as you have that feeling, hey, it's difficult, guess what? I'm not stopping. Fuck you. Look it dead in the eyes and just continue, move on. That is the point in your life where you can understand, holy shit, I'm the man, I'm the woman, I'm the person that gets shit done. And that is what brings you confidence. Just do it. Remember that one meme from 2016, the just do it guy? Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie. Looking back at it now, after looking at it as a kid and now looking at it as an adult, it's a whole different vibe. Because it actually makes me understand that, I could just do it. I could just do it. I could just show up. Show up when you're tired. Show up when you're exhausted. Show up when you're not feeling like it. Obviously, if you're sick, don't go. You need rest. Don't forget about that. I'm also gonna do a video about that, by the way. But, dude, show up. If it really is your dream, if it really is your goal, fuck dreams. If it really is your goal, if you want to go somewhere and achieve something, that's not a dream. That's a goal, because you have to make your dreams come true. And when dreams come true, they're goals, they're achievements, and you should go for that. I'm tired of people saying, oh, it's not attainable. It's just a dream. It's not. You can obtain it. As long as another human being can do it, you can do it too. That's my philosophy, right? That's honestly all I have to say. If you want more confidence in life, anywhere in life, may it be with your family, may it be in your relationship, may it be in your gym, may it be in video games, just do it. Just go for it and stand up for yourself and improve at something consistently. And then you'll understand what it means to gain a slight bit more of confidence. Now, I struggle with confidence a lot as well, but it's not anymore to the point where I could have a breakdown about it. Now when I don't feel any confidence, I just show up. And it gets fixed by itself. So yeah, that's honestly all I have to say. And I really hope this video was helpful. If it wasn't helpful, I hope it was entertaining to just hear me speak. I just know a lot of people nowadays need to hear that you're worth something. And you will love yourself with time. It takes a lot of time to get to love yourself, but there will be a day where you will. Trust me on that. Everyone deserves love. Anyway, that's it for the video, and I really hope you had a nice time listening to me talk. And I will upload a video soon again, and I'll see you on that video. Also, just a quick plug, I'm almost at 100 subs, and at 100 subs, I'm gonna do a Psylocke cosplay from Marvel Rivals. So please get me to that goal, and watch me be butt booty naked on camera. Yeah, okay. I love you guys. See you next video.